Hi, my name is Liz Hathway and this is my look at the week ahead. That's the week starting September the 9th. So we're still in the heart of this mutable sort of storm. We're really lost at sea with all this mutable energy at the moment. I think we're coming to a climax in it, which will be this week on Saturday around the full moon. And I think after that, we're going to slowly start to see the whole picture change. Things are going to quieten down a bit. It's a really interesting week, but in terms of aspects and movements of planets, it is huge. So I'm going to try and run through it using my little notes that I always make. So we're starting Monday with Mercury trine Pluto. So, you know, this is very deep and profound and meaningful. This is a conversation. This is a conversation which can lead to some kind of changes in basic position. Very important trine. We should remember, of course, mind governs matter, and also that knowledge is power. So these are themes that are coming through with Mars trine Pluto, Mercury, planet of communication, trine Pluto, and it's backed up by Mars in Virgo, which is trine in Saturn. So we've got the discipline, we've got the routine. You know, I mean, this is a good time, you know, sort of for health or sport or action, energy, because energy is here able to move in constructive ways. And forget, Saturn is in Capricorn sign where Mars is exalted. So this is a good start to the week. We know in the UK that new act is going to be passed through Parliament today, which is going to give some clarity with regard to where Parliament stands and with regard to what the PM can actually do within the legal framework. So Saturn is very much as well about these are the borders of where, you know, an individual can go. And then, of course, we kind of get back into that feeling of chaos almost immediately, though, on Tuesday, where we have Sun opposite Neptune. And this is an aspect that's going to be coming through much stronger around the full moon, because then we have around that full moon on Saturday, Mars is opposite Neptune. So there's a strong element of Neptune still in the picture. Dissolution, descent into chaos, you know, a confusion of tongues, too many ideas floating around, breakdown of order, breakdown of rules. You know, this central system, which is the sun, is clogged, it's blocked, there's delays. And this is also an aspect of frustration, and also an aspect that kind of leads into a situation of where is the problem actually? Where can we find it? You know, and Neptune is very good at, you know, hide and seek, you know, it's kind of how do you get to the crux of the matter? How can you get to the heart of it, the sun? So this is, you know, like the situations where, you know, things aren't working, but you can't quite put your finger on it. So, you know, Neptune's very good at throwing up, you know, mists and haze and taking away the edges. We get into, and another feeling that we get as well, by the way, with Sun Neptune is very often, you know, loss, this sense of being immersed in feelings. Coming to Thursday, we're still right in this mutable kind of energy, which is, again, as I say, it's very difficult to nail things down. We've got Mars square Jupiter. This is rush. This is a rush, mad rush. And it's also because of that rash. So it's this rush and then rash. Chicken without a head kind of energy, you know, overdoing it, you know, as we say in Holland, killing a mosquito with a hammer, you know. It's this exaggeration, but also there's that, you know, Mars threats, you know, big things up and going too far, you know, sort of, as I say, being a little bit excessive is a word that comes to mind. Then on Friday, staying with mutable, Mercury and Venus become conjunct, and they are square the galactic center. So this is kind of a very tense conjunction, actually. It also suggests that the heart is being ruled by the head. It's in something to do with love letters, love talk, sharing something we are passionate about. But now Mercury is going to be moving ahead of Venus, and that changes their relationship, which will be even greater reduced or greater. There's a greater shift in relationships coming on Saturday when we see the receptions change as well. The moment with Venus in Virgo, she is Mercury ruled. But when Mercury and Venus move into Libra on Saturday, the roles are reversed. Then Mercury is ruled by Venus. So that's a tense Mercury-Venus conjunction there, with head ruling actually the heart. And we have Sun trine Pluto there as well on Friday, which is kind of picking up on that Mercury-Pluto trine earlier on in the week. Knowledge is power, feeling strong, feeling empowered, feeling emboldened. Also depth of understanding and depth of self-knowledge, which can carve out, you know, new avenues for us actually. Sun trine Pluto is a strong, powerful aspect because the kind of action that the center is coming from the center is backed up by this very deep knowledge of, you know, the underlying motivating factors, what I really want. You know, it's kind of a push towards that, achieving that goal. So that is a very powerful Sun-Pluto trine there with the Sun in Virgo, which is very much about service. It's very much about helping. It's very much about, you know, trying to sort of improve things. And Pluto will say, well, I'll help you with that. We can find a way through this mess. But then we come into the full moon and it's a Mars opposite Neptune. So we have the full moon, which is always consciousness. It's also about relationship, and it's also about the need for compromise. The sun and moon facing each other. This is awareness, consciousness, but the key word really is compromise. You know, these are two sides of the same coin. Somewhere there has to be a point where the two can come together and create something which is representative of both. It can't be one or the other. It has to have elements of both. But then, yeah, we get we get Mars opposite Neptune, where Mars's energy and drive seems to just dissolve into the ocean. It's sort of lost at sea. It's wasted energy. It's, you know, there is that feeling actually with this enormous mutable energy going on, that there is a lot of energy being wasted here. There is a lot of time and effort and money going into things which are still nowhere near to being resolved than they were, certainly if we look at the UK as an example. You know, these issues have been going on for years, so there is that sort of frustration there as well with Mars Neptune. In a personal way as well, it's very much as well, we have to be careful when Mars opposite Neptune that we don't overindulge and drink, you know, think, oh, I can't deal with this, give me a glass of wine, and you end up drinking the bottle, because that's Mars Neptune as well. And then we see also on Saturday, say the receptions change, Mercury goes into Libra, and then Venus goes into Libra. So Mercury becomes Venus ruled from Saturday. So that is an exchange, that is a different relationship. It seems that heart is governing the head. It's the complete reversal of the head ruling the heart. And on Sunday we have the Sun conjunct the South Node, which is very much about letting go of things, very much about release, accepting what we can't change. But the whole picture this week, I find again, it's pretty much as it was last week. People who have a lot of planets immutable will be very able to ride this storm. You know, the rest of us, like I personally have very few planets immutable. So I find it very frustrating, you know, in general, because I'm trying to think about which way you want to move forward, but you kind of got all these ideas in your own mind and seeing what's going on around you, that it feels in a way to me, with regard to my own plans, I just want to hold off a bit and let the dust settle. The dust settle. I think when we get the, that Mars-Neptune opposition out of the way, I think, you know, and those Mercury and Venus in Libra as well, which will be on the axis of the Earth there in Libra. So there's a definite change of direction coming. The wind is starting to blow from the weekend from a different direction. Okay, hope you make sense of it. It's a bit mad, I know. Okay, guys, have a really good week. Hang on in there. Bye.